Fano was a freshman All-American at left tackle
Right.
in the 1 year he played. In the Utah practice world, between the coaching staff, they felt that Fano was able to move to right tackle and have a much more seamless transition than Lomu would have moving from left tackle to right tackle, which is why they shifted him over.
NFL draft reaction. Cleveland Browns take Utah offensive tackle Spencer Fano with the number 9 pick. And let's be real, this is the kind of pick that splits a fan base immediately. Some people hear offensive tackle and they get it right away. Other people hear offensive tackle and act like the team just ruined the whole night because it wasn't the flashy name they wanted. But here's the part nobody is talking about. This pick was not made for applause on draft night. This pick was made because the Browns have been living in offensive chaos for too long, and somebody finally decided the chaos had to stop. Because when you look at Cleveland, the problem has not just been one position, it has been instability. The Browns have had too many different quarterbacks, too many different left tackles, too many moving pieces, and too many Sundays where the offense looked broken before the ball was even snapped. So when they sat there at number 9 and took Spencer Fano, this was not about being cute. This was not about trying to win social media for one night. This was about saying, we need a real answer up front, and we need him now.
A two-time All-American at right tackle, and he won the Outland Trophy Award in 2025. Wherever he's been on the offensive line,
He's good.
he's been an incredible.
And honestly, that is why this pick makes more sense the longer you sit with it. At first, maybe it does not feel exciting. It does not feel like a wide receiver running a 4.3. It does not feel like a superstar skill player walking across the stage. But offensive tackle is one of those positions where you do not fully appreciate it until you do not have one. And Browns fans should know that better than anybody. Because when that left side is shaky, the entire offense feels shaky. The quarterback gets rushed, the run game loses rhythm, the playbook gets smaller, and suddenly every drive feels like survival.
Fano was a freshman All-American at left tackle
Right.
in the 1 year he played.
Right.
Then Caleb Lomu came in. In the Utah practice world, between the coaching staff, they felt that Fano was able to move to right tackle and have a much more seamless transition than Lomu would have moving from left tackle to right tackle.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. Spencer Fano was not some random reach. This is a player people had been talking about for a long time. He was not a late riser that suddenly appeared because of a combine workout. He was a freshman All-American at left tackle. Then he moved to right tackle and became a two-time All-American there too. That matters. That tells you this is not just a body type projection. This is a football player who has already proven he can handle high-level assignments on both sides of the line. And that position switch is important because some people misunderstood it. They heard he moved from left tackle to right tackle and thought, oh, maybe he got pushed out. But that is not what happened. From the way it was explained, Utah had another tackle come in, and the coaches believed Fano was the one who could move more smoothly to the right side. That is not an insult. That is actually a compliment. They trusted his athleticism, his intelligence, and his ability to adjust. They were trying to get their best 5 linemen on the field, and Fano was the guy flexible enough to make it work.
He's going to struggle over there.
Yeah, and this guy is 21 and knocked out the athletic testing and all that, all those Andrew Berry traits. But guess what? He was a really good player at 18, 19 as a true freshman.
Right.
And a year ago, everyone looked at really studies the draft and said, this is a first-round tackle. This is the first tackle. So this isn't just some wild projection.
Right.
This is a guy that it went a certain way, and maybe at the end it wasn't some Joe Thomas, Orlando Pace type grade. Right. But it was like, hey, the Browns can move down and get the top tackle on the board, on Dane's board, on Daniel Jeremiah's board, fit what they need. It makes a lot of sense.
This is where young players usually make a mistake. They think switching from left tackle to right tackle is simple. It is not. Your kick step changes, your anchor leg changes, your balance changes, your hands feel different, your whole muscle memory is flipped. It's almost like asking a right-handed person to suddenly write with their left hand and still make it look clean. Some players never get comfortable doing it. Fano not only did it, he played at an elite level doing it. That is why the Browns are betting on him. Now, the big question is why the Browns chose Fano over somebody like Proctor, and that's where the front office logic starts to show. Proctor might have been the bigger, more powerful, more physically exciting prospect. He might have had that if everything clicks, he could be scary feeling. But Fano felt safer, cleaner, and more ready. He was the more polished player. And Cleveland is not in a situation where they can wait 3 years for a tackle to figure it out. They need someone who can walk into the building, learn fast, and start early. This is where it gets dangerous, because the Browns are not just drafting a player here. They are making a statement about their own timeline. When you take a tackle at number 9, you're saying he is not here to sit around. He is not here to be worked into the mix by week 7. He is not here to be a developmental backup while the offense struggles again. He is here to play. He is here to start. He is here to help fix the exact problem that has haunted this team. And that's why the reaction from some fans feels a little emotional instead of logical. People wanted a splash. They wanted a weapon. They wanted a name that made the draft party louder. But the Browns looked at the board and saw something different. They saw a tackle class where they could get one of the top guys before the run really took off. They saw a player who had already played left tackle, already played right tackle, already protected at a high level, and already showed he could handle adjustment. That is not boring. That is responsible.
Jeremiah Love and Cardinal Tate are still on the board at 6. Are you saying that the Browns were still targeting Fano and they would have tried to trade that pick?
Yes, the Browns had made the decision that they were going to go, barring some crazy circumstance, that they valued offensive line and offensive tackle first.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe in that instance, maybe they get more. Maybe they do get more than what they got.
The Browns had options at pick 9, and they did not overthink it. When Fashanu was there, they took him. Other teams were also grabbing tackles right after, which proves Cleveland was not alone in valuing that position. The league spoke loud and clear that night. Offensive tackle was a premium, and the teams that acted early won that battle. The Browns needed an offensive tackle, and they got one while the value was still high. Waiting would have meant picking from a weaker pool later. That is how teams get into trouble, drafting out of desperation instead of strength. The best front offices attack need when the talent is there, not when the board forces their hand. This pick is also tied to the quarterback situation. It doesn't matter who is under center. No quarterback succeeds behind a shaky line. Pressure kills timing. Pressure kills confidence. Pressure kills seasons. Fashanu is not just a tackle pick. He is a quarterback investment. You build the house before you decorate it. And right now, Cleveland needed a serious upgrade on the foundation. Yes, the Browns still need receivers and more weapons, but what good is a playmaker if the quarterback cannot get the ball out? What good is a deep threat if the pocket collapses before the route even develops? Protection comes first. Play action works when the run game is respected. The run game works when the line dominates. Everything connects back to the trenches, and Cleveland finally addressed that reality instead of ignoring it. Andrew Berry and this front office will be judged hard on whether Fashanu develops. Offensive line and wide receiver have been sore spots for Browns fans for years. Using a top 10 pick on the line means there is nowhere to hide. If Fashanu becomes a long-term starter, people will call this pick smart and disciplined. If he struggles, it becomes another chapter in the same old Browns story. Another premium pick, another problem that never got solved. But what was the alternative? Keep patching things together with veterans on short deals? Keep hoping the quarterback figures it out behind a questionable line? At some point, you have to stop talking about the problem and actually draft the solution. That is what this pick is supposed to be. Fashanu is young, athletic, experienced, and ready to contribute now. He's not a raw project who needs 2 years before he can help. He's played at a high level. He can move well for his size, and he has the football intelligence to handle NFL complexity. He's a calculated risk, and after years of chaos and desperate moves, calculated is exactly what Cleveland needs right now. Stable franchises draft linemen. The Steelers do it. The Eagles do it. The Chiefs keep investing up front because even Patrick Mahomes needs protection. Cleveland is trying to get into that same mindset and shed the reputation of a team that treats offensive tackle like an afterthought. This pick also sends a message inside the building. If the line improves, excuses start disappearing. If the quarterback has time, he has to perform. If the run game has blocking, it has to produce results. One good tackle does not fix everything, but removes a major weakness, and sometimes removing a weakness is just as valuable as adding a superstar. Fashanu also needs to approach this the right way. The biggest mistake young linemen make is trying to prove everything in week 1. He does not need to be perfect immediately. He needs to be steady, learn from every rep, and improve each week. Because left tackle in the NFL is brutally hard. Elite pass rushers with speed, power, and tricks he's never seen before will test him early. There will be rough games. There will be loud overreactions from fans. But if Cleveland is smart, they will let him grow through the hard moments instead of panicking. Names like Cardinal Tate and Jordan Tyson did not change the plan. Maybe the Browns had some interest, but neither player was enough to pull Cleveland away from fixing the offensive line. Tyson had injury concerns. Tate may not have graded out as elite enough in their evaluation. Once the Browns decided tackle was the priority, everything else became secondary. That is how disciplined draft rooms are supposed to operate. Know what you need, trust your board, and do not let the moment change the plan. If Fashanu develops quickly, this whole offense could look completely different. The run game becomes more consistent, the quarterback becomes more comfortable, the receivers get cleaner timing on their routes, the play caller gets more freedom to open things up. One tackle does not transform a roster overnight, but one tackle can absolutely change the feel of an offense. At pick 9, the Browns had a clear choice: chase a flashy player or fix a broken foundation. They chose the foundation. They chose the trenches. They chose stability over highlight reel potential. And honestly, Browns fans should want exactly that. This franchise has had enough chaos, enough shortcuts, and enough maybe this works experiments. If Spencer Fano becomes the answer at left tackle, this pick will be remembered as the night Cleveland finally stopped chasing shortcuts and started building something real. If he misses, the criticism will be loud and it will be fair. But here's the most honest take. This pick was necessary. Cleveland needed protection. They needed a day 1 starter. They needed someone who could step into the fire and give the offense a chance to actually breathe. Fashanu may not have been the most exciting pick of the night, but he might be exactly the pick this team needed most. Now the work begins. Draft night is just the promise. What happens on the field is the proof.